step in the hitching process is to come to the passenger front compartment of the RV and get the weight distribution leverage bar. Looks like this. We're going to come over here and we're going to utilize this tool to put on the weight distribution bars. We're going to unpin this. Nothing special to it. Set that to the side. We're going to drop this down just like that. Then we're going to come around to the driver's side of the truck. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Once we have the trailer attached to the hitch ball, we're going to come over here and we're going to secure this so it can't be tampered with coming down the highway or when you're parking. That'll keep anybody from unhitching you. That could cause you big problems going down the highway. So we're going to leave that locked. Next step here is to install the this is the weight distribution bar. The way this is set up, that white label always faces up. We're going to come in here just like this, and we're going to bayonet this in just like that and swing it over so it looks just like that. White label's facing up. Follow this down here and all your chains are here. We're going to let 4 links hang on this particular vehicle. Depending on the size of your vehicle, height of it is going to depend on how many you leave hang. On this particular truck, we're going to leave 4 hanging. I want to make sure there's no twists in the chain. The chain is straight. Now, if you remember, we still have the weight of the trailer picked up at the back here, so there's actually no weight on the truck at this point. We leave that down like that to help with this process here. If you do this helps you, and it takes very little effort to get this locked up into place. If you try to do this without lowering that tongue jack and taking some of the weight off of the vehicle, this can be very dangerous, especially when you go to unhitch. If you go to unhitch and you haven't gotten your block under there to take the weight off of the truck, when you go to do this can flip down and bust you and break your leg. So this is a very important safety feature of this hitching process. Once that's locked up into place, you come over here and you're going to feed this pin in just like this, and you're going to let it fold down. That keeps that secure while in transit. Coming back over to the passenger side of the truck, we're going to repeat the exact same step. Label's facing up. Come over here to our chain. Make sure there's no twists or turns in it. Make sure it's nice and straight. Let 4 links hang. Let 4 links hang. Come over here. Just like that. And then we're going to get that leverage bar. Just like this. Make sure our body's completely away when we do this step. And that should stay in position until you get it pinned. But for safety precautions, remove this leverage bar and watch your hands for pinching points. You don't want to pinch your hands or your fingers. So we're just going to come over here, just like this. We have to persuade this pin a little bit. Just like that. Looks just like that. Now, at this point, it's always safest to hitch and unhitch the trailer from the driver's side of the vehicle. Back on the driver's side of the vehicle, we are now going to lower the tongue jack and retract it completely. When retracting the trailer tongue, you want to make sure you don't over retract it. It stopped. Very important that the tongue jack be completely retracted so you don't drag the trailer tongue jack going down the highway. Next step in the hitching process is to hitch your safety chains. And your emergency electronic brake wire, which is this here. This emergency electronic brake wire is if your trailer happens to come disconnected from the truck in transit, this will jerk and pull a safety pin, which will engage the trailer brakes. So in this case, we're going to come up under here and we're going to hitch it right here. We want to make sure our safety chains and wires are coming underneath all the hitching equipment, just like that. Now, what a lot of people like to do is take this, and we're going to take a D-ring carabiner and we're going to D-ring carabine it right here on its own connection. That emergency safety brake wire attaches right here. So if your trailer comes disconnected, it'll pull on this and engage the electronic trailer brakes. That's an emergency safety feature. It follows up here and is thread through the safety chain. We're going to take this carabiner D-ring and we're going to clip it right up here where the safety chains go. Just like that. You're all set to go. Next step in this process is to hook up the 7-pin electrical system to the truck. Comes up through the tongue of the trailer there, comes right down here to your 7-pin and attaches right in here. Just like so. And it only goes in one way, and this lid catches the plug so it can't get pulled very easily. One thing to keep in mind when you're traveling with an RV, anytime you need to stop and pull over, it's always good practice to do a walk around the truck and trailer before you take back off again. Make sure your electric hasn't come loose. Make sure nobody has tampered with your safety chains, anything here. Next step in the process is to install the anti-sway control. The anti-sway control is installed from the passenger side of the vehicle. It looks like this, and it only installs one way. All the labels face out towards you. You undo these pins here and here, and you'll see there's a place for one end of it on the hitch, and there's one place here on the trailer frame for the other side. This lever here releases it, and what this is a set of brake pads in there, and the purpose of this is to keep the trailer from fishtailing or going into a sway. It's called an anti-sway bar, and that goes right there. And once you've loosened this up here enough without letting this come out of its nut there, You pull this out to the length where it needs to hook up to the trailer right here. Looks just like that. Now we're going to pin it back together. This top pin goes through here just like that, in that position. And then the other pin, you come up here and pin it just like that. That's installed. Now we want to tighten this up. And what it's doing is it's pressing this piece of steel on this brake pad against this piece of steel. This keeps the trailer from swaying and you losing control of the trailer when you're going down the highway. It's a very typical thing to happen when you get passed by a large semi. There's a wind suction that happens on RVs and other trailers. That's why this device was created, to keep that from happening. And there you are all set up and ready to go as far as hitching is concerned. Again, the weight distribution bars, labels always go up. Anti-sway bar, labels face out. Make sure you snug this up. One thing to keep in mind, if you had a turn tight corners or back into tight areas, you always want to remove the anti-sway control. If you do not do that, you'll bust this. You'll break it at the welds, or you'll break this mounting plate on either side.